Hey everyone, I want to thank you for tuning in to one of EPARTRADE's Race Industry Now Tech webinars. If you're a part of the racing industry or you're just passionate about racing tech, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel so you never miss a new episode.
Good morning and welcome to Race Industry Now, the weekly webinar series from EPARTRADE, presented to you by ARP, Performance Plus Global Logistics, Feria Racing Components, PIC, Fifth Third Bank Motorsport, Quire, and CTEC Manufacturing. I am Francisque Savignan, the founder and CEO of EPARTRADE, the racing industry, every minute, every day. This is episode 561, and we're going to be talking with Grant Products. With me this morning are Judy Kin, the co-founder of EPARTRADE, and wonderful host, Mr. Brad Gillie. Judy?
Thank you, Francisque, and thank you everyone for joining today. We are very honored to have Grant Products, who's an iconic brand in our industry, hosting with us today. And they have recently released an abundant amount of new racing products, hardcore racing steering wheels. So we're excited to have them on today. This will be a great discussion. Brad?
Yeah, most definitely. Thank you, Francisque, and thank you very much, Judy. We will see y'all here very shortly, and we're looking forward to a big discussion today. Before we get started, please, I do want to remind you, as always, this is just like being at an industry trade show. If you have a question, please type it into the chat, ask whatever it is you want to know. We've got a little presentation for you. We're going to talk a lot about steering wheels and really how what Grant Products does benefits the entire racing community, but this also involves you. So step in at any time. Our title today, Race Ready, How Grant Products Crafts the Perfect Steering Wheel by Grant Products. And our panelist today, Todd Froelich, the Vice President of Sales and Marketing. Todd, welcome. How are you doing?
Great. How are you doing today? Happy to be here.
Well, we're happy you're here. So we are doing fantastic for sure, and a lot of cool things to talk about. And my gosh, Grant makes so many wonderful products, and especially for the racing community, which is something we're going to focus on for sure. But let's start, Todd, by just talking about the more than 100-year history of Grant Products.
Yeah, it's exciting to talk about it. We started back in 1922, and obviously, steering wheels wasn't its main focus, but at that point in time, it was engine overhaul kits, piston rings, safety helmets, so on and so forth. And then, Grant progressed over the years, and in 1960s, really, along with race wheels, started produce steering wheels for all the markets, adding designs for automotive at that point in time, and really got to the point where in those days, the everyday vehicle going down the road had a Grant steering wheel on it. So you were trusting Grant to drive your family to the event or wherever you go. So it really is exciting.
Yeah, for sure. And look, literally in just about every, and I don't want to say car market because I'm just going to say every market because you guys do so much more than just cars. But it doesn't matter if I'm rebuilding an old Camaro, Mustang, or Corvette, if I'm a boat racer, if I'm a dirt racer, a stock car racer, whatever it might be. Grant has something for me and for the racing community, just the innovation, the design, the different things, construction, everything that you guys have done. I know we're really focused on that today, but I just want to illustrate just the depth of what Grant does when it comes to automotive, but especially racing.
Yeah, yeah. I think the biggest thing for us is you know all the markets that we are in. So we do OEM, automotive, aftermarket, race, side by side racing, golf, the golf in the community, military vehicles, heavy duty trucks, airport vehicles. I go through and travel a lot, and I see the airport transportation vehicles that have the GT emblem in the center of it for Grant. We're big also into the marine and marine performance. We even go as far as to make yokes for airplanes. I mean, it's really been a great journey for us, and we're building every day.
Yeah, that is really, really cool. Well, let's kind of get into the details, but again, the depth of what you guys do and the knowledge that you have and all of that. So I guess first, Todd, let's just start by talking about the construction of materials that Grant uses for race steering wheels.
Yeah, I think one of the biggest things is, the construction that's the most reliable out there has been originated by us, and the has followed, over the years to really make the safest, most reliable wheels on the market. Our design, if we name all those large companies that we deal with on a daily basis, this design has been proved, tested independently by these companies, in addition to what Grant has done to really prove that we are the best choice, for safety and security. With that being said, we have, this particular wheel here, just to give you a little bit of an example. What we call is basically a full hoop design, right? So you have a full steel channel on the outside here. With that, the spoke goes inside it. If you can see that clearly, the spoke gets inserted. So whether or not it's a flat dish, a little bit of a dish wheel, doesn't matter. The spoke inserts the same. And then in addition to the security on that, we do put rivets, sometimes one, sometimes two, depending upon the application. So really we cover it. And then at the end, the overall injecting of the polyurethane, in which we wrap and really have a lot of opportunities to do different finishes. This particular construction is really the only construction you should be doing, along with a couple other variations of it for the race market, to really optimize the safety for the race car and race car driver, just to get the best feel, comfort, and most importantly, safety.
Yeah, and there are a lot of steering wheel brands out there, a lot of very good ones as well. But ultimately, Todd, the technology, the construction, what they're using is something Grant innovated. Is that fair?
Correct. I think that one of the biggest things too is that what we talk about a lot is energy absorption, right? So people are like, "Hey, what's that? What is that term? I don't understand that, right?" And obviously the racers, understand that more, but the way we construct our steering wheels allows the extreme speed. So we call it the bend but not break, right? This is really for the safety of the driver, right? So it does absorb some energy in higher speeds, which is clearly in the racing market that is. So you will get a bend but won't break. And that is huge when it comes to racing. I mean, it's just it's paramount. We're very proud of it. We feel that construction is just a tradition that we've had, and to be honest with you, we use the same construction on a boat, right? And it's just something we feel great about.
Yeah, and when we talk about the safety aspect, bend but not break. It's funny. This steering wheels just typically, like, totally by coincidence. Last night we were on SiriusXM, and Todd Gordon, former championship crew chief, he's my co-host, and the topic of wrecks and things to get replaced and all of that came up, and we started talking about the things that you don't see. And we were talking about Cody Ware had a big wreck, and I don't know what brand of steering wheel he was using on the Chicago street course, but the
Yeah.
in-car video is there where literally his hands go forward and the steering wheel folds over. And Todd was saying, "Oh yeah, anytime we had a wreck, the steering wheel always got replaced because you couldn't afford to have the slightest bend. You obviously can't afford to have a break because now we're talking about things that might protrude and all of that." Could you expand on the safety aspect and maybe what even some racers don't realize when it comes to when they should replace their steering wheel, what they should look for, and all of that?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is just to make sure that when you are buying a race steering wheel, that it is technically classified as a race steering wheel. I think what has happened over the years is you see a lot of different steering wheels out there, and unlike our company, there's a lot of companies that do not use that construction. So I think that's the first thing you look for when you're looking for a race steering wheel, is just let's just make sure that the construction is what we just talked about, right? And even if it's not a Grand, right, we're more importantly, we're concerned about the racer, right? So race safety is the most important thing. The other thing too is obviously the diameter, the driver, your length of arms, your dish. There's many factors that go into it. So depending upon, where the wheel is, to have a comfortable seating, where you're sitting in your position while you're driving your car. Um, I feel like, Grant has a lot of different options, right? So it doesn't really matter what type of racing you're doing. If you do a little bit of research and just kind of check out our website, grandproducts.com, you'll see some of those race wheels. But at any other time, racers should feel free. We'll give them the information to reach out to us, me, our team, and answer any of those questions just to make sure that this important decision is made properly.
Yeah, and while we're talking about that too, Grant Products, you guys are home based in Brownsville, Texas, South Texas. Some of the manufacturing happens in Matamoros, Mexico, which is literally like right across the border. I mean,
Minutes.
it's further for me to go from Fort Worth to Dallas than it would be for you to go to your manufacturing facility. So that's just how close it is. But I also think that's really important as well. With that understanding that everything is pretty much done right here.
Yeah, I think one of the things that gets overlooked a little bit is that, we are 100%, building our own stuff, right? It's our own factories, it's our own quality control. That close proximity and being North American made, as far as, availability, the security of it, the regulations, so on and so forth, is very important for everyone right now, and has been. But just we are proud to be in a North American company. We feel like we can do a lot of great things, respond quickly to stuff. Customer service is very quick and abrupt. So there's a lot of really good features that we have with our two facilities.
Yeah, which is fantastic. We do have a question from the chat. I almost want to preface it going back to our conversation we had last night on SiriusXM about, how a steering wheel can be a huge benefit in the materials that you use. And, at least for Todd, the NASCAR folks, the first thing he thinks of, oh, well, if we can use carbon and this and that and so on and so forth, think about how much weight we can save that's really high in the race car. That's his first priority. But the question says, how do different materials or construction methods affect feedback and durability?
Um, you mean feedback back and durability as of?
I'm thinking feedback in the feel, being
Oh,
connected, and I would assume durability in being, yes, you want something that is going to be an asset to you in the event of a wreck, but you also don't want something that, if you're cranking hard on the wheel for 36 nights in a year, you don't want it to just wear out on its own. How about that?
yeah. So understanding that, that's a great question. So we do have many different materials in regards to, we use leather, we use, different vinyls, we use polyurethane. There's an Italian sky wrap that we do that has a little bit more versatility, polyurethane, foam grip, so on and so forth. I think, one of the things that, two things that are very popular is the suede for us is um, it will wear more, right? It's not as long lasting material, but it does have the best feel and comfort. So you trade off a little bit with that. In the other hand, when you go to the leather and the Italian vinyl materials that we use, you get more longevity, but maybe not that soft material, to where and there's another option also with a gripper material that actually has a textured pattern on it. So like your hands are stuck, there's no slipping. It's really the driver's preference more than anything. We give all the options. I feel like every driver in the cockpit kind of knows what they want. But again, too, we're always happy to answer any questions on, okay, hey, how does this material compare to this? And what are your suggestions based on the car that you're driving?
Yeah, and I like that. And obviously, just looking behind you, we can see a good variety of different types of wheels and wheel sizes and materials that wrap the wheel and all of that. So, what about some of the newer items that Grant has out right now?
Yeah, so just to kind of go through a little bit of, I have a few items here. So like this is a wheel. If you look in our catalog, it's a 603, but this is an item we did on the OEM side for Polaris a few years back for their high performance vehicle. So I wanted to show that a little bit as a comparison to say, okay, hey, these are extreme conditions. These are 80 to 100 plus miles per hour. And seems like they're not as qualified drivers. So there's a few more wrecks, right? So this is really a great, this particular part number in a little different version is a 603. It's a flat bottom, a little smaller diameter, but it has the construction and the feel and the stitching and everything that you're looking for. So this is been around a little while, but really hasn't been a good seller for it. And just wanted to give you an example, where it applies to racing. Okay. This particular model right here is a 604. This was new in the last year. Really what we're shooting for here is, again, too, it's lightweight. It gives you a lot of different options as far as your hand controls and buttons. So, depending upon whether your hands are shorter or longer, your fingers, so on and so forth, you have a lot of flexibility. So we made some different items here just to make it kind of fit anyone hand size and comfort level and preference. With that being said, and then here's where we use the ultra suede material. So this material really soft to the touch and to the hands. You have your custom stitching. It's just an overall. It's a really good feel and look. Obviously with your center stripe already stitched in a leather pattern. Okay.
Yeah, I like that.
This one is, a very, popular, up and coming, has grown a lot over the last year. This is kind of my favorite, to be honest with you. I mean, we have 4 different colors. We put the black center stripes. So we have a yellow, we have a gray or whatever, kind of to fit your car and to customize a little bit without extra cost or customization. Really just a reasonable steering wheel that the dish is super popular, also a 3-inch dish. This particular wheel in the different colors, again, too, it's already out, but it's fairly new. Just to give you an example of something with a little bit more dish. Another one recently in the last year, this would be the Grant 1075 had been a steering wheel that had been huge in the race market forever. And actually, if you look in the ad of the steering wheel and the Frere, in the ad, this particular steering wheel in the 1075 version was on that car when you started up. So what we did here is we added just another slot for buttons and then for a Velcro strap or push to talk or whatever you need there also. So just trying to give you a little bit. And then we kind of went a little bit different here, so this is really just a copy of the design of the Corvette, right? So the C8 Corvette is obviously cool and fast and looks slick, and this flat bottom on the top and the bottom is a good feel and a look. You can buy it with or without the pad, but the pad already comes with it. So again, just another option, a little bit, and it really just shows the variety that we have at Grant for the particular steering wheel, 2 different materials and so on and so forth. I think, the one message that we always like to say is, I mean, we got everything for everybody. I mean, it would really be hard to press to say, okay, Todd, I want this, and me say, well, no, we don't have anything like that. So I feel like we've thought of pretty much everything. We do have a new introduction today, though. So this is the box that Grant ships in. It's got our name on it, made in North America. I just received this wheel, so I wanted to show everybody today. As you can see, it's wrapped in foam, very protected. Obviously, we take it very serious about, okay, you guys spent the money on it. It's got to get to you in perfect condition. This particular wheel is, again, raised and has some additional features. So this new, again, too, gives you even more flexibility. So when we came out with the 604 version, we're like, hey, we can make another version that has even more ability for hand size. So we added a couple different here. The styling again is great. So I mean, I know the main purpose is safety, right, and comfort and whatnot, but it doesn't hurt when your wheel looks cool too, right?
Right.
So in addition to that, we made a 3-spoke version.
Oh,
So
cool.
you get, rather than the traditional spoke, you also have a 3-spoke version, which gives you more room here. So obviously your hands 10 and 4, but you also have the ability to have a little bit more room to put your hands here, whether it's just riding around the track, warming up, whatever it might be. So that's really the 2 new introductions. We'll have them on the website with the part numbers shortly, and we're pretty excited about these 2. We think that we added just another step to some flexibility as far as your location of your switches.
Yeah, I was actually just thinking that same thing, the flexibility that is involved in that. And then you start talking about switches and everything else. But, if I have a paddle shift application, you guys got me covered there too?
Yeah, so we don't currently have paddle shifts, but we do. I mean, it's not on our current lineup that we have a wheel with paddle shifters, but we can customize stuff too. One of the things too is, I mean, we're always looking for projects and ways to partner with the race people and just to take their ideas and say, hey. So we encourage people to say, hey, Todd, I think we're missing it here. We'd like to see some of this. Give me a call. I mean, send me an email. We're really open to expanding, and the message is too is we're the experts in building the wheels, but we're not the experts in racing with them, right? So
Yeah.
we really rely on the racers to tell us this is where you got it right, this is where you got it wrong, and we just make sure that we focused on the safety and then take their feedback to make the best wheel possible.
Yeah, want to focus on one other thing. We were talking about everything built in North America, and you guys are right there next to your manufacturing facility, essentially, which is a great thing. The design innovation. This is more than 100-year-old company, so what we see elsewhere out there on the market comes from what Grant developed, but also the benefit of it being North American based. A huge benefit there, especially today, is price, right?
Yeah, I think when you talk about, Grant being the first choice for steering wheels, I mean, we have unmatched experience. We build more wheels than anybody. It's just longevity, right? And the different markets we're in. But we feel like we're the best value on the market, but the best value doesn't always come with the best construction, and we feel we have both. And that's just sheer volume, right? We build more steering wheels than anybody else. We can build them for less money, and we just feel like we have our focus for Grant has been to build the safest affordable steering wheel on the market since our inception. And yes, we have different wheels, but the race category is obviously the most important as far as the safety and affordability, because we're not talking just NASCAR budgets, right? We're talking about other budgets where Grant really fits in. So with that being said, I think that we're the brand you can trust, and we'd love to see more.
Yeah, I love that. And, and again, you start talking about price and efficiencies and the safety and all of that. I do like the variety of colors because, again, while I might not race, I also think to myself, if I needed a couple of different diameters of steering wheel, I might have couple of different colors to make it easier to grab the right thing in what I do. So, being able to get more of like a full package for your racing season in one place in a good way also seems pretty convenient.
Yeah, I think we have all the options, and we're not afraid of some customizations. And we've done custom wheels with their logos on race teams and fun stuff like that. And obviously we're flexible. Some of that is time and effort, but we feel it's worth it. So yeah, it's great.
Yeah, it is for sure. I do want to remind you again, if you're watching us live right now, if you have a question, please just feel free to type it into the chat. And again, we'd love to talk about the things that you want to talk about, including your specific needs. And with what Grant does, your specific needs could involve any form of motorsports, be it on road, circle track, straight line, road course, off road, marine, all of the different applications. And I think that is another key factor. I'm curious, Todd, when you start talking about the safety side of things, okay, look, as racers, we also have a tendency to say, oh man, I was running my dirt car the other night and hit the wall, the wheel bent a little bit. That's okay. I'll just grab a hammer, I'll bend it back, or I'll do this. What do you tell people to make sure we don't compromise that safety that you guys build in?
Yeah, any collision at all, replace the steering wheel. I mean, I think that when we talk about any impact at all, I think when you're in those situations, you don't really realize what may or may not have happened to you, the steering wheel, the car, so on and so forth. So, really, we feel with any collision at all, you replace the steering wheel. For me, it's a very inexpensive way to assure your security as a driver, and it goes back to being affordable, right? It gets a little bit harder when they get to be more expensive, but I think at the end of the day, you just any collision at all, we suggest that they replace the steering wheel.
Yeah. Well, the other thing too is the safety aspect, obviously being number one important. I'm thinking I want to have something that's round and true when I'm out there driving as well. I mean, there's a lot of input that goes on directly. I mean, that's literally what is connecting your hands to, the wheels that are on the ground. So, you want to have it round and true.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. And I think too, like, one of the things that I didn't mention earlier is, we have all the adapters too. So, one of the things that I get a little bit concerned about is people maybe not using the right adapter or maybe not using the right quick release. Obviously we've been making a quick release for many years. This quick release is SFI approved. We make it so that it fits a 3 or a 5 bolt pattern. So really, again, too, in addition to the safety, mating it with our steering wheel is great. It's just we do something a little bit different too. It actually sits inside the steering wheel, so you don't get that play that's going left or right. So you see I'm moving it and it's going nowhere. Rather than sometimes they do you if our competitors don't have this, you have the ability where you're putting all the pressure on the screws.
Yeah.
So so if you take this step off here, you're looking at all the pressure is on your screws. And so I feel like this particular design is like I said, SFI approved, and it's the right one for those reasons. We've thought about it, we've made it that way so that your speed and any impact that you might have isn't relied just on 5 screws. It's sitting in there securely.
I like that. That is actually one heck of a feature. All right, another question from the chat. Can you integrate electronics and telemetry systems without compromising the structural integrity of the wheel?
Yes, we do have, if you look at, and I think this is the answer to the question. If you look at this, so when we put these slots in here, what is super important to us is, okay, we're making these features for the driver, but more importantly, we can't compromise strength because of it. So if you look at the thickness of the material, if we are doing cutouts like that, sometimes we may need to go a step thicker in the aluminum that we use and make that. So everything like that particular question is really, it goes into all of the thought processes about steering locations, because some of the steering wheels may be made thinner, and now you start cutting holes in it and you lose the integrity of the steering wheel. Now you've created yourself a problem if you don't have somebody with the experience that we do making the steering wheels, if that answers the question.
I think so, because again, that just goes to something else you think of. Again, sometimes we as racers just want to find the shortest path to something. I need to mount something on the steering wheel. Hey, someone go grab a drill and let's just find a path to do it. You guys actually make wheels that, even if you're anticipating something you're not using now, you could have a wheel that leaves that option open to add those accessories. Fair?
Yeah, I think just to give you an example, one more would be this. This wheel's been around a while, but I mean, when we made this and made the holes in it so that the switches could fit in another version of it, um, we made it just high enough so that you don't have to put your finger in and you could still hit the button. I mean, there's a lot of thought that goes into building a race steering wheel. But again, too, now you got two holes, you need to make sure that they didn't compromise the strength of your steering wheel. So this would be another good example, other than the other one, that just you have to, as a manufacturer, put a lot of thought into the process to make sure that your number one safety priority, and then function, then other items are thought about.
I love that design too. That just looks cool. With the thicker hand grips and the flat bottom and all that. Like you said before, look, this is a function, this is a safety thing, but there's no reason it can't look cool, right?
Yeah, exactly. And I think too, we try to do is as good as we can, taking as many pictures as we can, just to show you, okay, here are the ergonomics. This is what you think you might want, rather than maybe just a stock one with no ergonomics in the steering wheel. So you really have a lot of options. Some people, the way they drive and what they do, they don't want any ergonomics. They want a smooth slide around the steering wheel. Some want that bump to kind of secure a hand position. But again, too, I feel like we got all the areas covered for anybody, whatever they're racing.
Well, yeah, and this goes back to talking about 100 years of history and all the many different steering wheels you made, whether they are direct to consumer or direct to OEM. If I have an idea of something I want, chances are you guys have had experience with it. Let's talk a little bit beyond steering wheels too, if we can, Todd, because again, it's not Grant steering wheels, it's Grant products, and there's
Yep.
a lot of different things that you guys have out there on the website, from carbon fiber to accessories and different things like that.
Yeah, so one of the things that people probably don't know as much about us is that we've been doing carbon fiber, true 100% carbon fiber products, right? So people get confused about hydrographic, dipped, and those are really just plastics, right? Ours are 100% true carbon fiber, made in an autoclave, with the highest strength, highest quality you could possibly make. So we had been doing that on the OEM side for many, many years. And I would say about 5 to 10 years ago, we started adding some products to the automotive, more race orientated and whatnot. One of the first items that we have is carbon fiber sheets. So when you're doing a race car and you're fabricating a car, and it doesn't even have to be a race car, it could be anything, right? So these particular sheets give you a couple different sizes, flexibility, maybe you're putting a structure or panel on the side of your vehicle, in the bottom of your vehicle. Obviously race vehicles are a lot of fabrication. So those particular sheets can fill in some void and give you some strength, maybe where you need it some places, without having to bend a whole new pattern or mold or hand lay fiberglass or whatever the application might be. So the sheets is a big thing. Also the roll cage protectors, so the carbon fiber roll cage protectors is another really high volume item for us that people don't really know about unless they're actually racing. And then the carbon fiber brackets. So I don't have any with me here today, but the steering wheel brackets. So when we talk about switches,
Mm-hmm.
I showed you some of the applications that already have the switches built into it. These carbon fiber brackets, you can use your existing wheel. You can buy a new wheel, but it gives you different flexibility where the bracket goes in between the steering wheel and the hub. And now you can add one switch, two switch, four switches, if you don't have it built in the wheel that you chose.
I like that. That's pretty convenient. And look, getting back to the carbon fiber sheets too. I was actually talking to a buddy the other night and heard something in the background. I was like, "What are you doing? Is that it's 3D printing to make a mold to make a carbon fiber piece for one of his vehicles?" And this
Yeah.
was more of like a custom thing saying, "Hey, this is something I want for this." But when it comes to selling the carbon fiber sheets, like the way technology is, there's so many things that we can just do, like not just from home, but from our office, to be able to
Yeah.
simply fabricate and make things and all of that. I think that's really cool that you offer the sheets to be able to do that.
Yeah, and the strength is just paramount. We do some other applications in the marine market, but I just did a video and a test. It's basically a really large panel that goes on a boat, and we basically took 500 pounds, and it was a 5 foot section, and put the 500 pounds in the center where it was cut out, and it didn't even flex.
No
So
kidding.
impressive, right? So that particular construction was an application that we made that, it's bulletproof in my eyes, and, people talk about it. Even when you're mounting it, if you have a screw hole and you're mounting it, I mean, the head of your screw will break before the carbon fiber will. It's just, that's how durable and tough it is.
I like that. And look, I know we are North American based here with EPARTRADE, but really we're worldwide. We talk to racers all throughout the globe, truthfully. And tell us about any international audience that you might want to speak to when it comes to what Grant can offer.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing with our company is that we do ship all over the world. We have the logistics, we have the teams. There isn't anywhere that we probably haven't shipped at one point in time, just because of our long history and different product lines and different categories. So we are really open to the other markets, whether it be a European market or whatever it might be. We are the one-stop shop for steering wheels, and we feel that we need to make that available to everybody, no matter where you are in the world. So don't ever exclude yourself because you're like, oh, I think I'm too far away, because that's really never the case. I mean, we constantly are exporting, and it doesn't really matter whether it's a steering wheel or carbon fiber. We really look forward to building more of those relationships.
That's fantastic. And what about dealers? I know a lot of what you do is direct, but is there any type of dealer network or dealer out there?
Yeah. Yeah, I think, the biggest thing for us is we do, and a shout out to, Motor State Distributing ATEC. Also, they carry all our products, no matter what they are. They try it, they run it, they do it. So they do a really great job with us and our team, and it's been a long-standing relationship. So a shout out to those companies that do distribute it. But if there is, dealer opportunities for the race specific, we'd love to talk to those companies. We do have smaller programs where we could say, okay, what are you looking for? Are you looking for something more custom? Are you looking for off the shelf? And then we'll make that conclusion and decision at that point in time, after we have a great conversation, to say, okay, uh, is this the best fit for you? Is this best fit for you, or is this best fit for you? And it's really all about the customer. We want to do what's best for the customer. So we'll make that decision together after we talk to the dealers and show them our particular program and what we can offer them.
Yeah, I like that. And that sort of goes to who should race teams and or buyers contact if they want to know more about Grant to either make a purchase or potentially develop something that is going to help them get that extra edge.
Yeah, myself. I think my contact information is up on the website. You email me, call me anytime. If I don't answer, leave a message, text me. I'll get back to you right away. Whether I have the answer right away or not, I'll get back to you. I really want to be the direct line of contact. If it then becomes setting up dealer development or whatever, we'll make sure you get to the right place, so that it doesn't take a long time and it's not cumbersome to do business with us, because our number one priority is the customer, right? So we want to make sure that they feel like it's easy to do business with Grant, and if that's the case, then it's a great relationship.
And see, I love the personal touch because again, I want to illustrate there's so many things that Grant does on the OEM side that we just simply don't know about with relationships. So many things that Grant does, whether I'm, rebuilding, customizing, or as you talked about on the racing side, this literally is a large company, but it has the feel of a mom and pop. And I think that is awesome.
Yeah, it's really been the focus of our president to make sure that we don't get away from who we are, and we really are like, I would say, a tight knit family, right? So I feel it, in our everyday interactions and the way people talk to each other, and obviously no company is perfect, but we feel like we do the best job to make it a perfect transaction for our customers, and so the family is atmosphere is for sure what I feel behind the scenes at Grant. And I think that the more people that do business with Grant feel the same way.
Yeah, that's a wonderful thing. Yeah, and kind of summarize a lot of the things we talked about. Again, I don't know that people always look at steering wheels as a safety function as much as they look at it as that's what's going to point my vehicle the direction I want it to go. But the true importance of that and how much safety you guys have integrated into your design that is used throughout. I mean, this is Grant's design that we see at a lot of different steering wheels.
Yeah, I think the one piece we can leave with everybody is that we do feel like we are the best option for any steering wheel, but specifically a race because it's even more important on the safety side. So, with that being said, I think we showed a little bit today, but we're always willing to explain more about what we need to do to have people feel comfortable with their race teams using our stuff and what particular specifications that they're looking for outside of us being tested, approved, SFI, all the major things that a lot of companies don't have.
Yeah, and the other part, you showed us some newer products, keeping up with the innovation, I guess, if you will, because we have gone just from that standard 3-spoke with the, couple of holes in it, to obviously now people are adding accessories or doing a lot of different things that aren't just a radio button, but keeping up with that innovation too, another big thing, or maybe even leading that innovation. That might be the more fair way to say it, Todd.
Yeah, I do feel, with the controls and the locations and the stuff that we've done, we're building full steering wheels with full electronics for other vehicles outside of the race market. So we understand the electronics, how convenient they are, what needs to be done, and then also the construction that needs to be maintained to do that. So I feel like our experience in and outside of the race market makes us the qualified experts to say, hey, this is what you need, and if you want to veer off from that a little bit, just let us know.
Yeah, how much of what I'm ordering are stock products, and again, a pretty big variety of it? How much of it is, hey, I really want this specifically, and how long does that take in that case?
Yeah, so to be honest with you, we have a couple different ways of doing it. We have 100% stock at Motor State ATEC, so I would say 98% of what we offer is offered by them. So that's to be honest with you, sometimes the quick and easier way of doing things. And we support them 100%. They're fantastic. If there's something a little bit more custom or something maybe a little bit different, you can communicate with us, and you're generally looking, depending upon the structure and what you're looking for, anywhere between 30 and 60 days on something custom.
Okay. Well, Todd, it's a true pleasure. And as a fellow Texan, it's great having you guys on here today. But
Thank you so much.
yeah, I know we're talking not just North America, but worldwide as well. So we appreciate it, and big fans of what you guys are doing at Grant Products.
Thank you very much. It was an absolute pleasure. Hopefully we can do it again.
Thank you, Todd. Great session. So this webinar has been recorded. It will be posted later on the EPARTRADE platform, distributed through our newsletter, social media channel, as well as YouTube. For more information update about Grant's product, please visit EPARTRADE.com. We push their steering wheel back on the homepage over there. Next webinar will be on coding. So thank again, and goodbye.
Thank you, Todd.
Hey, we want to thank you for watching. Now, be sure to like, subscribe, and click on the bell so you're always up to date with the latest racing technology, industry insights, and exclusive content from EPARTRADE. In racing, every second counts. This is EPARTRADE, the premier business-to-business platform for the performance and racing industry. We connect buyers and suppliers 24/7 worldwide. Racing never stops, neither do we. Discover cutting-edge products and services from around the globe, gaining insights from our live platform, daily newsletters, weekly webinar series, and our highly anticipated annual Race Industry Week. EPARTRADE.com. The racing industry, every minute, every day.
ARP, the ultimate fasteners for whatever you build. To get the best performance, always follow ARP's installation instructions included with the product. For the latest torque specs, go to ARPinstructions.com.
We're Performance Plus Global Logistics. Our team of dedicated performance industry and logistics experts get valuable cars and components to the track on time in top condition. We provide expedited logistics solutions for the performance industry using direct routes instead of deferred options, and communicate all necessary information to the appropriate resources to meet regulations and ensure a smooth transit and secure delivery, both domestically and internationally. And we exceed customer expectations by providing best-in-class service with an efficient and cost-effective system in place. Contact us today to book your next shipment.
You work as hard as your truck, and you have no time for downtime. That's why more truck owners trust Blue Def, America's #1 diesel exhaust fluid brand. Each batch is guaranteed pure, so you can avoid costly repairs caused by inferior DEF. Demand America's best for your truck. Blue Def and Blue Def Platinum. Put trust in your truck.
With roots in the Midwest that date back well before the Model T, Fifth Third Bank has a long history of serving the needs of automotive companies. While much has changed over the years, our passion for helping businesses put cars on the road and on the track has not. Today, we are more committed than ever as a member of SEMA, a founding member of PRI, and a sponsor of multiple race teams across several racing series. Where can we take your business? Fifth Third Bank.
Where will you find Farea racing components? Circle track, drag racing, and any top race shop. In every form of motorsports competition, our valves and valve train components deliver race-proven design and technology. And we've brought that same performance to our street applications as well. We're backed by 5 decades of experience, an extensive range of off-the-shelf components, and our custom valve department has the fastest turnaround times in the industry. Farea Racing Components. Stand with us or race against us.
When it comes to pushing the limits of performance, the pros know there's no room for compromise. At Crowder Cams, we don't just engineer camshafts and valve train components, we redefine what power means. Since 1955, Crowder Cams has been the name trusted by racers, engine builders, and gearheads around the globe. Whether you're building a street machine, a dragster, or a track car, Crowder Cams provides the muscle you need to dominate. And with Crowder, victory is within your reach.
At SeaTech, we're on a mission to lead the storage industry through innovative custom-built solutions that meet every challenge head-on. Designed for versatility, whether in a commercial setting or at home, we create high-quality, durable products that stand the test of time. SeaTech, engineering and innovation.